Hi guys, in today's video we'll be discussing Lab 5, which can be found in the handout section of module 12. So just bear with me in this video because it will be longer than the usual. So let's just straight away dive in. So on my screen you can see that I have pulled up the design view of our application. So if you look at your handouts, you can see that we needed a picture box with a picture in it and two radio buttons with the sugar cone set as default. There's a combo box which will contain the ice cream flavors and a list box, and two buttons, save and exit, which have the access keys specified. Also, the combo box drop down style properties set to drop down list so that you are not able to add more options to it. And for the toppings list box, the selection mode property is set to multi-simple so that the user is allowed to select more than one items from the list box. As usual, the form is set to center screen and there is an appropriate title on the form. So let's dive into the code file. You see that I've already laid out the basic structure of the program: the form load, the exit button, save button, and there's a custom method called populate boxes. So in the form load event handler, all we are doing is calling this custom method populate boxes so that we can add all the items from input file to both the list box as well as the combo box, and then we're just setting the default ice cream flavor to vanilla. The exit button is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is close the program once that button is clicked. Now let's go step by step through the save button. So the first step to do would be to write a try-catch block so that in case if anything goes wrong, you can handle the error, the exceptions, and display an appropriate message. So in the try block is where we'll write all our code, what things should happen when the save button is clicked. So the first thing which you would want to do is create a stream writer object and create an output file in which you want to output the data. So to do that, just write the following piece of code. Once the stream writer is opened and is assigned to a output file, in this case the orders.txt, the first statement which you want to write into the file is the current date of the order. So to do that, we'll write the following statement. Now the next step would be to write the type of ice cream cone which is selected by the user. Now we need to write an if condition to check whether the sugar cone radio button is selected or the waffle cone. So if sugar cone is selected, we'll write sugar cone, and if waffle cone is selected, so we'll write waffle cone. So it's a simple if statement, something like this. So the next step would be to write the ice cream flavor to the file. So all we have to do is check which item is selected from the flavor combo box and convert that to string because we are writing it as a text to the output file. So just write the following statement. Now once this is done, now we want to write the toppings which are selected. So to do that, we'll have to, there could be multiple toppings selected. So to write all the toppings which are selected into the file, we need to run through a loop, a for loop in our case, and check whether each item is selected. And to check whether item is selected or not, we can make use of the get selected method, which is available as a method in the list box. So by doing so, what we are doing is iterating through each item on the list box, and then if that item is selected, then we are adding that item. So to add that item, all you have to do is write that item into the file. Once that is done, let's just add a blank line and close our stream writer for writing purposes. So once the save button is clicked, we also want to reset the entire form. So let's just add those lines at the end of the save button. So we'll set the radio button to sugar. The ice cream flavor in the combo box will be set back to vanilla, and the toppings list will be cleared, and the focus will be sent to the sugar cone radio button. So that's it from the save button. All you have to do is now let's just minimize this and work on the populate boxes. So same as the save button, instead of writing, we want to read data from the input files and put it into the combo box and the list box respectively. So let's do that turn by turn. So by this code, what we have done is created an object of stream reader class, and we are assigning that to one of our inputs file, the flavors.txt. Now to read the contents of the flavors.txt, we'll make use of a while loop which will read till the end of file using the end of stream method, and then we'll write each line as an item into the combo box. So by using the input file.readLine as a function inside the items.add property of the combo box, we are able to achieve that. And then let's just close the file. Now we'll repeat the same thing, just instead of the combo box it will be the picture box, and instead of flavors we'll open the toppings.txt file. So you see it's just the same piece of code, just that toppings has been opened this time as a stream reader, and then the items were added into the list box. So our program is done, and let's save the program and let's try and run the application. So the application opens at the center of the screen with sugar cone selected as the default cone type and vanilla as the default flavor. Even the toppings list has been now populated. So let's select combinations. Say for example waffle cone, flavor is strawberry, and let's add gummy stars and cinnamon dots to it. So once we save the program, the form is set to default as expected, but let's check whether the output file, it's been created under the debug folder, orders.txt, and it does contain our order, the date, the cone type, the flavor, and the toppings. Now let's close this and let's add a new order. So this time let it be sugar cone and Rocky Road with marshmallow and chocolate chips. So once we save it, let's go back and check the orders.txt, and there you see that the previous order has been kept intact with the new order being appended. So this is how you do your lab 5. I hope this video tutorial was helpful, and if any doubts, please approach us. Thank you.